This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on the program for today. I'm Fatima Abubakar Oyibo. The headlines. University workers extend strike ultimatum amid unresolved demands. FIRS defends federal government borrowing despite 411% revenue surge. And tragedy in Anambra as land dispute turns deadly. On the foreign scene, Taiwan tragedy, Barrier Lake burst leaves 14 dead, 152 missing. Details of the stories and more to come shortly after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. The Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, has extended its strike ultimatum to the federal government by another 2 weeks. This follows a series of unresolved issues, including unpaid allowances, withheld salaries, and stalled renegotiations of the 2009 agreement. The decision was reached after a consultative meeting with top government officials, including the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education and representatives from the National Universities Commission. Despite discussions, the unions say no concrete resolutions have been made, prompting the extension as a final window for government intervention. Union leaders warned that failure to meet their demands within the extended period will trigger a series of industrial actions. The academic community braces for potential disruption as SANU and NASU reaffirmed their commitment to pursuing justice for non-teaching university staff nationwide. Meanwhile, the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) has announced a staggering 411% increase in government revenue, rising to the 3.64 trillion naira in September 2025. Despite this windfall, Executive Chairman Zach Adedeji says the federal government will continue borrowing, calling it a strategic tool for long-term development. Speaking to State House correspondents, Adedeji emphasized that borrowing is embedded in the national budget and not a sign of economic weakness. He explained that loans are used to fund infrastructure and capital projects, not salaries, arguing that no country survives solely on its income. The announcement comes amid a growing public concern over Nigeria's debt profile. Adedeji defended the approach, citing reforms that boosted non-oil revenue and expanded the tax net. He urged critics to view borrowing as a calculated move to sustain growth and avoid future financial strain. In another development, a land dispute in Umunocha village, Oka Etiti, has ended in tragedy as 45-year-old Okuchukwu Ezimo allegedly stabbed his 65-year-old relative Joseph Dike during a heated quarrel. The incident occurred on the evening of September 22, 2025, and the victim was confirmed dead shortly after being rushed to the hospital. Police operatives from the Nnobi Divisional Headquarters swiftly arrested the suspect and collected evidence from the scene. The Anambra State Police Command has since transferred the case to the State Criminal Investigation Department in Awka for further investigation. Commissioner of Police CP Ikioye Orutugu condemned the act and urged residents to resolve disputes peacefully. He reaffirmed the command's commitment to justice and maintaining law and order across the state. You're still watching news analysis right here on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Still to come, 8.41 trillion naira oil theft bleeds Nigeria's economy, shakes investors' confidence. Details of this headline and more news content after the quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now on to business matters. Nigeria has lost crude oil worth a staggering 8.41 trillion naira to theft and metering failures between 2021 and July 2025, according to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC). Experts warn that despite recent improvements, the cumulative damage continues to undermine the country's economy and investor trust. Energy consultant Chukwuma Atwanya says the theft has weakened the naira, shrunk budgets, and discouraged foreign investment. Although daily losses dropped to 9,600 barrels in July 2025, the lowest in 16 years, analysts argue that the scale of past losses reflects deep governance failures and squandered development opportunities. Critics, including Professor Dayo Ayoade of the University of Lagos, question the accuracy of NUPRC's figures. Stakeholders say restoring investor confidence will require transparency, reform, and political will. Moving on to the foreign scene, at least 14 people have been confirmed dead and 152 others remain missing after Barrier Lake collapsed in eastern Taiwan. The disaster followed torrential rains from Super Typhoon Ragasa, which battered the region earlier this week. The natural dam formed decades ago by landslides gave way on Tuesday, unleashing a torrent of mud and floodwaters that swept through homes, bridges, and roads in Kwangfu Township. Survivors described the scene as a disaster movie with water rising rapidly and trapping residents. Premier Cho Jong-tai visited the affected area, pledging full government support and demanding answers over delayed evacuation orders. Emergency crews continue search and rescue operations as fears grow that the death toll may rise. Now for sport news, let's join Abel Sunday.
Good afternoon and welcome to PMB Sport News. I'm about Sunday. Raymond Stars, as reigning MPFL champions, welcome US Zilimanjaro of Cameroon in the first leg at Abeokuta and put on a statement performance, winning 4-0 on home soil. Their compatriot Rivers United were held to a goalless draw in Kinshasa, leaving everything to play for in this return leg. Switching to the Confederation Cup, Kwara United had a dramatic first leg against Ghana's Ashanti Kotoko. They fell 4-3 away in Kumasi. Abia Warriors, making their continental debut, played out a 1-1 draw at home versus Jiliba of Mali, conceding a late equalizer that gave the visitor a slight edge. With the returns looming, Lemon Stars look well position to advance. Rivers United need to break the deadlock, and both Kwara and Abia face uphill battles, but surprises can happen. That's all for sport. I'm Abel Sunday.
Thank you, Abel Sunday, for the sports highlights. And that wraps up today's program. But before we go, the headlines again. University workers extend strike ultimatum amid unresolved demands. FIRS defends FG borrowing despite 411% revenue surge. Tragedy in Anambra as land dispute turns deadly. On the front in Taiwan, tragedy barrier lake burst lives, 14 dead, 152 missing. For more updates and in-depth analysis, follow Politics and Business TV English on YouTube and Facebook. Connect with us on Instagram at PNBTV_English and TikTok at PNBTV_ENG. Remember to subscribe and stay informed. From me, Fatima Abubakar Oyibo, it's bye for now.